Hello, my name is Mary. I'm 22. I live in Moscow.
I have a higher technical education. Now I work in a commercial bank.
I am very romantic, sensitive, tender.
Home-minded, children-minded.
I would like to meet the man, the attractive.
Well-educated, well-established.
Energetic, reliable.
With good sense of humor, who can carry me on his hands all my life.
At the height of the Cold War, Soviet citizens weren't allowed to marry foreigners. Now the doors are open, and an American husband is precisely what Russian girls want.
Russian, Russian girls, babe, give me only love. Russian, Russian girls, take my soul. Russian girls, babe, give me only love. Russian girls, take my soul. Russian girls, give me love. Russian girls.
Tatiana MYASNIKOVA, together with her friend Lena, is looking for girls.
Would you like to marry a foreigner?
I've never really thought about it, but yes, I would if there was the right one.
Tatiana runs a company supplying Russian women as potential brides for American men.
So you think you could marry a foreigner?
In principle, yes. If it's love, I would. I'd like to find out more.
Here in GUM, Moscow's largest store, Tatiana gets a positive response.
I don't trust our men.
Already? How old are you?
17.
And already you don't like Russian men?
No.
That's great, you're just what we need.
And the main reason for this interest in foreign husbands, a dissatisfaction with Russian men.
They are predominantly lazy. That's the primary thing to say about Russian men. As a result of what's happened in the past, the way our lives have been governed, men aren't playing the leading role in our society. I don't mean in the political world, but in daily life. Men are the weaker sex.
The problem for our women is that so many men died in World War II. There's always been a shortage, so a woman has to get a husband at any price, even though the price is her own health. Even if she's not satisfied with a family life, she'll stay with him, however bad a man he is. And of course, for women, there's the belief that there must be decent men somewhere. Where are they? They're not Russian.
But Russian men don't understand the problem.
If a woman works, she earns less and usually has to do the housework. It's the traditional role.
East European people are not stupid. This is how it should be. The idea is that in life the woman should be subordinate to the man. I see nothing dreadful in it. That women are subordinate, that's the way it should be.
Personally, I can only fry potatoes, take milk from the fridge, beer, vodka.
A man is the husband. He's the master. He is the guardian. He is the benefactor. A man must be a man.
Why have I gathered you here? Why do I want to see you married to foreign men?
Tatiana MYASNIKOVA runs a club for women seeking a happier life abroad.
I feel sorry that you're all sad. The first thing to die in women is their eyes, because it's a mirror of the soul.
I've just been unlucky in love in Russia, to be honest. I don't know how it's happened that every man I've found here is very weak and very fickle.
I've been married here once. I can't say he was a bad man. I loved him, but I wanted a husband and a son, not two sons to raise. So I got rid of one.
We need men who are good, normal, just ordinary and reliable. It's a pity we can't find such men in Russia. And it's not as though we're looking for princes.
Detroit in the United States, home for the last 44 years to George Hiller. A mail delivery man, his is a solitary life.
There's always been a gap in my life because I've never had a steady girlfriend, never been married. A little over 10 years ago, I did ask a girl to marry me. She thought that was about the most ridiculous thought that anyone ever said to her, and she thought it was very funny.
But it's not stopped him wanting a wife. He hopes to find his dream woman in Russia. George has invested £3,000 on a 2-week tour to St. Petersburg.
Well, this goes back 2 years ago, just reading about it in the newspaper. And it told stories of men who went over to Russia and found women that were younger and more beautiful than what they could maybe acquire here in the United States. And so I thought that, well, that's for me. Those girls, unless I'm wrong, are going to appreciate me much more than most American girls that I would encounter. It has to be the turning point of what has become a pretty mundane life.
And this is Ron ROLLBAND, the man who aims to get George married. His wife Lydia is the ultimate advertisement for his company. At 25, she's over 30 years his junior. They met in Russia on one of his matchmaking tours. Since 1990, ROLLBAND has been taking groups of American men to Russia in search of wives.
There's a real need. There's a lot of loneliness in this world. And some people are more motivated than others to get a job done. And in this case, the job is getting people to get married.
Why?
In Russia, the girls are getting ready. Larissa and her friend Tatiana want to make an impression on ROLLBAND's Americans. St. Petersburg, the first morning, and a sightseeing tour for Ron ROLLBAND's group of 7, each with their own interpreter. In just 4 hours, they will meet their first group of potential brides. Ron ROLLBAND has put advertisements in newspapers. Around 90 women have responded. They are briefed in advance.
I'd like to point out that it's my job to get them married, but it's their job also. And the better we both do our job, the sooner we get it done.
There's something very special about Russian ladies that make you lose your sense of balance. In the past, the stereotypical view of Russian women was either that they all look like tractor drivers or the tractors themselves. And now, the American man is being educated to the fact that they are not. They're pursuing a dream, just like my guys are. They want their white knight to come in there and rescue them.
For the men, this is the first of 6 introduction sessions. Together with their interpreters, they first have to be presented on stage.
Значит, это Джордж Хиллер и его переводчица Аня. Это Дэвид Харрис, его переводчица Лана. Это Билл и его переводчица Аня. Вот это Бенни.
Но если говорить о материальном, наверное, все-таки...
I expect they're all rich, otherwise they wouldn't be able to afford to come all this way here to look us over and select.
Сделать не близко. Чем они будут? Ну, по-моему, чем они будут...
I've got no idea what they're like. I reckon they're probably over 35, single and want to have a family, so they will be nice. What you have to do is to look into their eyes to find out what they're really like.
My mom has 2 cats and 2 dogs, but we ended up having a 4-hour wait. We thought we missed the plane.
This initial courtship lasts 2 hours.
We thought we almost missed the plane to Russia because a little mixed up on the tickets.
They look upon Americans as movie stars because that's the only affiliation they've ever had with them.
State of Wisconsin. I like to drink water. I'll have to fight that feeling, oh, she couldn't be interested in me. What is she looking at me for? You know, when maybe she is interested in you. After all, they have to be interested in someone, and why not me? Sometimes I like feminine women, other times I like rough women.
This is one way to find an ideal mate. But for the more discriminating, there is another method. Send your requirements direct to an agent in Moscow.
I've had this fax putting in this order. What this man wants is a very, very slim girl between 18 and 24. Just super slim. It's a very specific taste. Just very thin, almost skin and bones. He's interested in your measurements. I know you might find that strange, but it's completely normal in the West.
На Западе это вполне совершенно нормально. Но самое такое интересное, он хочет, чтобы женщина была худенькая.
The most interesting thing is that he wants his woman to be very thin, that she has slim hips, 82 centimeters or 83 centimeters, no larger than 85 centimeters. The bust is not that important, but she should definitely have a tight butt.
В эти размеры Юля, прошу прощения. Потихоньку там расстегни. Ага. И ножка, значит, так. И ножка вот здесь вот. Так, и ножка у нас где-то. Ножка у нас 45 сантиметров. Напиши, пожалуйста. Так, Ленок, давай, вставай сюда. Подожди, сейчас как-нибудь. Лен, извини, нога. Лен. О, мама мия. О, май гад. Нога. 44 сантиметра, даже 40.
Despite the optimism, Tatiana's American client wasn't satisfied. It's no surprise to Ron ROLLBAND. He's all too familiar with the demands of American men.
The general assumption would probably be that these guys are losers. Most people should be these kind of losers. I've got a very imposing array of clientele, but then again, you know, there's the odd one that slips in there that should be shot on sight. There are guys who come to me who just couldn't get a date under any circumstances. And there's no mystery to that when I see them. Fortunately, they're in the minority. But there's no facility for us to check them out.
The women get a chance to view photographs of ROLLBAND's American clients. Those they like, they write to. That's before meeting his tour group in the flesh. But on the second day, there's a problem. The men don't want to go on stage. They don't like the presentation method.
If you have a legitimate gripe, I'll deal with it. But right now, those girls are waiting patiently. They deserve a little bit of respect. We got to get the show on the road. You're trying to change a business that's been operating successfully for 4 years, but there's no other way of doing this. And we'll start losing them in any case if I don't bring somebody in there and get this moving. But we got to get the show on the road. Otherwise, we're going to lose everybody, as well as credibility. Hey, fellas, can we get the show on the road? Okay, ladies.
Ron eventually persuades them there's no other way.
They say it's like a meat market. They put up like cattle at auction. Only the big difference here is the cattle are making the purchases. So, Benny, where's your interpreter? Out in the hallway. God, I'm drawing a blank on your first name. George, yeah. This is George.
Вот это George. Его переводится Аня.
But George has made an impression.
Tatiana came to the first meeting and she immediately had a big interest in me. And the second meeting was the same way.
I can't really say anything special about him right now, but I wouldn't mind getting to know him further. He's just very nice. He seems very sympathetic.
What I'd like to say about Tatiana, and as I can say this objectively, is that she needs a good family. She was born to be a housewife. She's a good cook, good at sewing. I want Tatiana to be happy.
Well, actually, I'll walk in the street.
So George asked Tatiana to spend the day with him.
That way, if someone gets hit, that'll be me.
Yes,
Yeah.
George.
It started off well.
I felt I began to understand him and get closer. You can usually get a feeling about a man by looking into his eyes, can't you? I can see he's a very good, very kind and very reliable man.
Yeah, see, I should be like that, you know, not eat all day.
I actually found out the most interesting things in the cafe. There were no other people around or distractions. We were able to have a good conversation.
I wondered what kind of woman I really like. But I guess when it gets right down to it, I do like the type that wants me to be the man in her life. Tatiana seemed to be take charge woman. Didn't seem to be in that much of a need for me to take care of her.
I'm not a party person.
At dinner that evening, they weren't getting on.
Well, by the time we got to the restaurant, things had really gone from bad to worse. We had nothing left to say to each other.
George has 10 days left to find a wife.
My lovely Lada, your peaceful and loving eyes penetrate me with a strong feeling of compassion and sincere devotion to family. I have stared at the picture for long periods and feel that I know you. The only thing that I truly lack in my life now is a wonderful woman and a loving family. Even if I must search on the other side of the world, I will have it.
I will have it. I love the lady in the photo. Tell me she's you and what she's thinking. From my heart, with love, William.
Lada Ryabok and Bill Alger met a year ago. They spent 5 days together in Kiev in the Ukraine.
We had a long history. We'd been corresponding with each other for over 2 years, but nothing happened. Then he arrived without any notice, and we fell in love with each other immediately. I don't know how to explain it. It didn't happen because of material considerations. It was more a case of love at first sight, which does happen between two people.
Bill Alger lives in Riverside, Southern California. He married his high school sweetheart, but after 20 years it ended. 6 years ago, she found another man.
My wife fell in love with her boss, quite simply. If that's the way she wants to go, who am I to stand in the way of love?
So at 38, Bill had to start looking for a new wife. He spent over $3,000 on video dating agencies in his search for a suitable American woman.
Number 9, you want the other one? 34 takes the other one. Let's go, let's rock and roll.
There were a lot of women that were very beautiful that I dated. They were great dates. They would not make a great wife. Not for me. I want to get back what I give. When I fall in love, there are no limits to what I give. Love, I take it to the highest level. I want to give. What I saw in a lot of the women that I dated was a hesitation on that point. They could not be totally selfless. I'm not a bad judge of character, and no one is perfect, but I can find no flaw in LADA at all.
My personality is different from that of American women. I'm different perhaps because I love my home, my family. I don't want independence entirely. I want to have a husband to be in control. I don't like to be the boss. I can only offer help and support. I don't want complete independence and freedom.
I think the world knows what American women want. They are famous for selfishness, materialism, insincerity. They'll admit it. My problem with American women in general is that they've become much too self-centered. In the diesel trade, if a machine is too complicated, we say it's high maintenance. I would categorize many American women as being high maintenance. They also take more than they give. And that alone, that stands out as the main reason that I cannot find a woman that I would like to spend the rest of my life with in this country.
Russia is proving fertile territory for the kind of woman an increasing number of American men are after. Here in St. Petersburg, a charm school has opened, teaching girls to be feminine. They learn that for a lady, there's a right and a wrong way to sit.
Не отвешивайте от себя, зад все около вас. Левая ножка закрывает правую, чтобы не было такого состояния. Все здесь.
Despite the fact that our country is going through extremely hard times at the moment, women just want to feel feminine, like women. What we are aiming to achieve is that when a woman is doing her job, sitting at her desk, her boss will enjoy looking at her as she works, as well as will all her colleagues. We have our own beauty here. We're simply trying to bring out this hidden beauty, the beauty that's been locked away for years.
I believe she played the harp.
Oh no, the girl could play the harp. She wasn't from Novgorod. She was from St. Petersburg.
I think she's another one of those women that really liked me, but I didn't like her enough.
George and his interpreter, Anya, have a problem.
I'm mainly
halfway through the trip, and it's proving difficult for them to sort through all the possibles.
So I think it's going to be Mariana. Mariana is my Cinderella.
You need Cinderella.
And Tatiana is my princess.
Yes.
So I'd rather have my Cinderella.
Okay.
So, you have a nice dress on.
Mariana and her daughter join George for lunch.
I got lost here this morning.
to the 18th floor, but they were eating here. No. No.
Suddenly, Tatiana appears with Anya, the interpreter.
Fine. Oh, and Mariana speaks very good English, but
Well, I'm very
she
glad.
she doesn't understand everything.
She doesn't understand. Well, she can speak, but she can't make it. You understand? Well, what are you talking about?
Oh, her son. But Mariana really looks
What?
good, doesn't she, in that
Yes.
dress?
Yes.
Goes with her brown hair.
Yeah. She does look good.
And this is her daughter,
Yeah.
Natalie.
Natasha.
She doesn't look 20 years old.
But what do you think about her age?
She looks like she's 12. Are you sure she's not 12?
Без Ани не понимаю.
Oh,
No,
okay.
speak. Well, she looks like 12. Maybe smaller.
Yeah, but she said that she's 20.
She said that she's 20.
20, she looks like she's 14, 12.
Not 12. 14? Well. No, she's a little girl who's 12 years old. Very nice.
How's your cat?
What?
Tatiana's cat was sick.
Oh.
After the meal, George confirms his decision.
Well, I've chosen Mariana. I don't think it's love that I feel for her yet. It's more like you meet the girl that you don't want to lose. I don't know if she wants to go to the United States.
She obviously doesn't. Mariana doesn't even want to go out with George when he asks her again. George will just have to keep looking.
Ты у меня одна заветная, другой не будет никогда.
William, my great love, all my thoughts are about you. I have in my heart so much love, more than I can describe you. My dream is to have a good family, to give joy to somebody, to make some man happy. My heart is trembling when I hear you tell me.
Hello, baby. I think about you all the time. I sleep and dream about you. I want to live with you every day. I will love only you, always. I miss you very much, and I feel sad sometimes. Then I look at the photo of our home. What a wonderful place. You have good taste and big possibilities. I like it so much, my dream. I love only you, always. I kiss your heart. Lada. Lada and I are not like everyone else. Damn, I miss that girl. I miss her with every fiber of strength in my body. She's what I've been looking for. I've been waiting for her for years. I've spent thousands of dollars looking for the right woman. I knew what I wanted. That wasn't a mystery. I found it. It seems odd to me that I had to go so far to find her.
When he was in my home in Kiev, he watched me doing the housework, and whatever I did, he liked it. And he thought I could make him a good wife. Perhaps he doesn't like women who are overly emancipated. It never developed in me.
Lada is 31. She's brought up her 2 children alone. Natalia is 8, her brother Vanya 5. Their father died of diabetes 4 years ago, and Lada decided she had to leave.
It's very difficult to explain the reason for my husband's death. It wasn't just him. It happened to many people. In Ukraine, there were many young people already sick who died after Chernobyl. It shouldn't be that way. All over the world, people are struggling against diseases, but here, because we have no medicine, a person could die from a simple infection. I was very frightened for my children. If something happens or they get ill, there's no guarantee I can help them. I was very frightened about that. At that time, I decided that I must leave here. I love Ukraine very much. It's my motherland. It is the land of my ancestors, after all.
One of my grandfathers died during the famine of '33. There was my father. He was shot by the Germans in 1941. When the Germans were here, also there was no food. Then our army came. They liberated us. They took away all our bread. Then the famine of '47 started. We survived because we had a cow. This is Soviet serfdom. We simply got used to hardship, you understand? I got used to poverty.
Lada is leaving with her children in 2 days. This is the last chance for a family meal.
I think it's a tradition of the Ukrainian people. Children do not leave their parents until they reach a mature age. They always remain close to their parents. We have a very good relationship with my parents, my sister, her husband. We support each other. We help each other. I'll miss my parents most of all.
I am worried. I don't want anything bad to happen. How does one explain that? If someone in your family, your mother or someone goes away somewhere, you are anxious. So I am anxious. And here she is going for a whole eternity. Anyone would be anxious, but how do you put it into words? I can't.
Lada is going to America, taking Natalia and Vanya with her. Her family have gathered to say goodbye. After spending 5 days with Bill Alger, she's decided to start a new life with him. No one knows when they will see each other again. The parents of Lada's dead husband are also there. They've come to say goodbye to their grandchildren.
Would you like to say some words about yourself to begin with, or?
It's the final meeting, a last chance for George to impress.
Can you cook?
I can boil water, and I can fix TV dinners. Pre-made dinners in the frozen department of your supermarket.
What is your idea of your future wife?
Well, wow. Well, she should be kind of a sensitive woman, shy, ordinary. Ordinary, that means nice.
Have you already chosen the girl?
No.
George has had the chance to meet over 500 women, but he still hasn't found a wife. Tomorrow he goes home. But at the last moment, success.
Yesterday, a miracle happened. God sent us a lady, the type of lady that George likes. He is in love as deeply as you can be in love when you meet a girl for a few hours. A girl who came at a difficult moment. A moment of crisis when there was nothing.
I'm the happiest man in the world right now. I bought this in the United States where I live to give to the girl that I was going to find here. And be seeing you when I get you to the United States.
When?
I guess a couple months. When I met Margarita last night, I immediately fell in love with her when I saw her. I knew she was the right companion for me. So, you know, she doesn't know how happy I was when I went out into the hall and was introduced to her. I still can't believe that she thinks I'm the #1 man for her. So I guess it was a mutual love at first sight.
Yesterday was a fairy tale. It was so unexpected. I wasn't prepared for it. It was the man I liked from the picture, and there he was.
I think I've known her all my life. She's that all-American girl, or in this case, that all-Russian girl, you know, that I always wanted.
The plan is to get married to George as quickly as possible.
We have pictures of each other to look at, and I guess that'll be it until we can really start our life together in the United States. And she's a hairstylist, so she can even cut my hair if she wants to.
so beautiful. Oh, hello, kids. Oh, you look good. I have something for you. Take it on your finger. Thank you.
Only one dog.
Only one. If they're small enough, maybe we'll get two.
The journey from Kiev to Los Angeles has taken 36 hours. There's just an hour to go to their new home in Riverside.
What do you think?
I like it.
Beautiful?
Yes, so beautiful.
And the refrigerator is electric. And our plates. It's called Faltzgraf. Feel it? Different, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Special. Nice?
Nice, yes, very nice.
Nice?
Set, but I don't
It's a nice set. LADA, welcome. Welcomed home.
Once over the Atlantic, life may not be so idyllic. Al Hope has had a Russian fiancé come to his home in Wisconsin. He's twice been to Russia in search of a wife.
There's a certain convenience to having a Russian girl. If you don't like her, get her out of here, you know. I mean, I hate to say that. But if it doesn't work out, you know, it's just a plane ticket away.
2 years ago, LADA SHOLOKHOV spent just 3 days with Al Hope in Moscow. Enough, she thought, for her to decide to join him in America.
I think had their own stereotype. It's so well published in the States that Russian girls are, born housewives. They are born to serve their husband, to cook, to clean, to wash. Do not demand anything. Be grateful for every little thing he's willing to give you. Like you're a dog standing on your legs, smiling to your master.
LADA returned home to Moscow.
I had some real strong feelings when LADA went back. I knew that I had done my share of just kind of turning my back on that girl, you know.
The point which I felt that something's going definitely wrong, it's like the first month after I came. Because he started working and he was out all the time and he didn't care what I'm doing, what I'm interested in.
You look at me and say, well, hey, that cold-hearted little bastard. You know, he doesn't have any feelings and stuff. Well, I do. And it hurt when she left. I mean, I really felt bad for her because I knew that she had real high expectations of this.
I take it for granted that, if you live with a guy, you do certain things for him. But he does certain things for you also. And he was like gradually turning me into a house slave.
I'm going to be real honest with you. I have an eye for younger ladies, pretty ladies. Let's face it, I'm going to tell you that. That's what I'm looking for. I want a young, firm-bodied, gorgeous, vivacious, attractive lady in my life. I'm beyond the let's go talk about Shakespeare bit. I'm looking for something that's going to ring my bell.
time is finite. Life doesn't go on forever. And this is the ultimate in achieving happiness from dawn to dusk. I'm not sure you could make any more of a difference than with a good wife. And this is what I feel that I've found. But they say the honeymoon eventually is over. I hope that ours never is. But if she has that fundamental respect the way I have for her, that's basically all I need. She must continue to feel attractive. If she stops being sexy, if she stops feeling the need to be attractive, then that has a direct bearing on me.
Having arrived on a fiancé visa, Lada has to be married within 90 days, otherwise she must return to the Ukraine. But Bill is not waiting. 2 days after her arrival, wedding preparations are underway at a friend's house.
I could live here unmarried with a family. I'm not sure I would get the respect of the community for that. They like you to be married when you're living together.
Well, it's sad that she won't be here. We'll think what she's doing there, the grandchildren, how things are there, and so on.
I would like her to remain just as kind and as brave as she always was. I would like people there to understand her as we understand love and support her here.
Will you now take William to be your wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, till death do both you part?
I do.
I'm afraid to judge about their love. This is their business, it's personal. I wouldn't want to interfere. But what I am anxious about is how the years that she's going to be there will go. I hope that she doesn't have too many problems.
With this ring,
I
thee wed.
I thee wed.
In the name of the Father,
In the name of the Father,
and of the Son,
and of the Son,
and of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
3 months on, the children have settled, but it's not been so easy for Lada. Her English hasn't improved, and while Bill works, she's stuck in the house. In October, Margarita told George she wasn't going to join him in Detroit. But George has not given up. He plans to return to Russia in the new year.